This is 1SP. I'm back again with another one. This is about King David. This is the part one.
Living at Ramah in the mountains of Ephraim, there was a man whose name was Elkanah. He had 2 wives, as did many men in that time. One of these wives had children, but the other wife, whose name was Hannah, had no child. Every year Elkanah and his family went up to worship at the house of the Lord at Shiloh, which was about 15 miles from his home. And at one of these visits Hannah prayed to the Lord, saying, O Lord, if thou wilt look upon me, and give me a son, he shall be given to the Lord as long as he lives. The Lord heard Hannah's prayer, and gave her a little boy, and she called his name Samuel, which means asked of God, because he had been given an answer to her prayer.
Early the next morning they arose and worshipped before the Lord, and then went back to their home at Ramah. Elkanah made love to his wife Hannah, and the Lord remembered her. So in the course of time Hannah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, saying, Because I asked the Lord for him. 1 Samuel, the 1st chapter, verses 19 through 20.
Samuel grew up to be a good man and a wise judge, and he made his sons judges in Israel to help him in the care of the people. But Samuel's sons did not walk in his ways. They did not try always to do justly. The elders of all the tribes of Israel came to Samuel at his home in Ramah, and they said to him, You are growing old, and your sons do not rule as well as you ruled. All the lands around us have kings. Let us have a king also, and do you choose the king for us? This was not pleasing to Samuel. He tried to make the people change their minds, and show them what trouble a king would bring them. But they would not follow his advice. They said, No, we will have a king to reign over us.
But his sons did not follow his ways. They turned aside after dishonest gain, and accepted bribes and perverted justice. So all the elders of Israel gathered together and came to Samuel at Ramah. They said to him, You are old, and your sons do not follow your ways. Now appoint the king to lead us, such as all the other nations have. 1 Samuel the 8th chapter, verses 3 through 5.
So Samuel chose as their king a tall young man named Saul, who was a farmer's son of the tribe of Benjamin. When Saul was brought before the people, he stood head and shoulders above them all. And Samuel said, Look at the man whom the Lord has chosen. There is not another like him among all the people. And all the people shouted, God save the king! Long live the king! Then Samuel told the people what should be the laws for the king and for the people to obey.
Saul also went to his home in Gibeah, accompanied by valiant men whose hearts God had touched. But some scoundrels said, How can this fellow save us? They despised him and brought him no gifts. But Saul kept silent. 1 Samuel the 10th chapter, verses 26 through 27.
He wrote them down in a book, and placed the book before the Lord. Then Samuel sent the people home, and Saul went back to his own house at a place called Gibeah, and with Saul went a company of men to whose hearts God had given a love for the king.
Is it not wheat harvest today? I will call upon the Lord, that he may send thunder and rain. And you shall know and see that your wickedness is great, which you have done in the sight of the Lord, in asking for yourselves a king. So Samuel called upon the Lord. And the Lord sent thunder and rain that day, and all the people greatly feared the Lord and Samuel. 1 Samuel the 12th chapter, verses 17 through 18.
So after 300 years under the 15 judges, Israel now had a king. But among the people there were some who were not pleased with the new king, because he was an unknown man from the farm. They said, Can such a man as this save us? They showed no respect to the king, and in their hearts looked down upon him. But Saul said nothing, and showed his wisdom by appearing not to notice them. But in another thing he was not so wise. He forgot to heed the old prophet's advice and instructions about ruling wisely and doing as the Lord said. It was not long before Samuel told him that he had disobeyed God and would lose his kingdom.
Next, on this King David series, we're going to cover what happens after Saul discovers he's going to lose his kingdom. And that's our next episode. This is 1SP. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. It's time for a crusade. It's too easy. Let's get it.